Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Andrew Haubner, opposite Coach Mike MacIntyre of the Colorado Buffaloes. And as the Buffs are shaping up for their next spring game, I'm here talking with Coach Mac about last year, this year, and hopefully the great years ahead. How you doing, Coach?
We're doing well. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. And, you came into this program, and it was a little bit of a shell of what it once was. Tell me, what's the difference this year between last year's spring practices?
Well, this year's spring practice, we're farther along. The terminology, the offense, the defense, the special teams, our guys know all that. The snap counts, the communication, all the signals, all that type of stuff that you take for granted. But once you get all that down, and we played a full year last year, and this spring I feel that we're farther ahead, and so now we're able to focus on more of the fundamentals, more of the toughness aspect, and the angles and all the execution of our offense and our defense and our special teams. So I feel like we're farther ahead in those phases, and we need to be, and hopefully we're making some improvement in, and I feel like we are.
And how has it come along this spring? Do you think that you guys will be ready for the spring game, and into the summer you'll be able to maybe implement some new stuff for next year's season?
Right. Well, we'll go through the spring game, and then we always implement a little bit. But basically, what we're going to do, we will just keep doing and trying to perfect it, and then we'll have certain things critiqued for certain teams. Certain teams that play a certain defense, you want to attack it a little bit different with parts of our offense. And then defensively, certain teams that play certain offenses, you want to have to do a few different things defensively. But it all comes out of our arsenal. You just emphasize more at different games. You have to have a big enough arsenal that you're able to do that.
Yeah, and that spring game will be tomorrow here on Folsom Field at noon. As we look at the stars of this team, your fabulous freshmen, as you kind of like to call them, Addison Gillum performed great last year on the defensive side. Seppo Lufau was our starting quarterback and played admirably the entire year. How impressed were you with that freshman class last year as they kind of became the leaders of the team going forward?
I was very impressed with the freshman class. The thing about the two young men that you mentioned there, I think they're mature young men. They're very, very bright, not only on the football field, but socially and academically. So I feel like they fit into the great culture of Colorado. The other thing, they're very, very competitive. They love to compete. They love to try to be successful. And to me, they've both improved this spring. They've gotten better. We critiqued them over last season and told them to work on a few things to work on during the winter workouts, and they've done that. The spring has gone well, and then they'll improve as the summer goes along. Just maturing too. They were 18 years old last year, and now they're 19, and so I think they just keep maturing and keep going. I think a lot of people forget how young some of these guys are out there playing in front of thousands of people and millions of people on television and playing against some grown men, sometimes on the other side, and I think that another year under their belt has helped them, and they'll keep improving. And, Addison and Seppo are definitely two leaders on our football team also.
And focusing a little bit more on Seppo now, with Paul Richardson leaving, obviously, P. Rich being the offensive threat that he was, Seppo looked to him a lot last year. What have you been talking to him about or kind of coaching him on to make sure that he'll maybe expand the field a little bit this year with P. Rich?
Well, I think his knowledge of our system, the knowledge of reading defenses now that he's played so much, will help him do that. And also, we strategized some things to try to get the ball to P. Rich, and then, at the end of the year, they started doing some things, and Nelson Spruce, we were getting the ball, the Cal game, Nelson Spruce played phenomenal. He played great in other games, and I think Nelson Spruce is a guy that people will game plan against this year. So now he's going to have to find the other receivers also, but I think Seppo has a great grasp of the offense.
So would you say Nelson is the one person that you want to see step up most out of all of your receiving corps this year?
Well, I think that Nelson has done that. I think that last year he proved that he was definitely a Pac-12 high echelon receiver, and I think that he's gotten better this spring and off season, and I think he'll be a heck of a player this fall. We have other receivers, D.D. Goodson and Bryce Bobo and Tyler McCullough, and those guys need to keep improving like they are, and because you need a lot of weapons.
Yeah, and of course, incoming wide receiver Shea Fields out of another very solid recruiting class from you. Are you particularly excited about anyone? I know young McIntyre is coming on the team. Aside from him, of course, who are you most excited to see?
Well, I'm excited to see all of them. And Shea Fields brings some speed and dynamic to our receiver course. He'll have an opportunity. Probably we're going to look at him early and see if he's ready to handle it. I think that we have a couple offensive linemen and defensive linemen coming in that we're excited about. That I feel like that we've got a game against Sully Wheatfuls from American River Junior College, I think, can come in and help us play immediately. We have a defensive lineman, Leo Jackson, from Foothill Junior College that's coming in that I think can help us immediately. They're older guys. And then we have some really good freshmen that we're looking to help us. Evan White, a safety from Cherokee Trail High School. You know, he's already 6'2", he's already 210 pounds, and he's built. And I think he'll be able to help us. And there'll be other guys jump in there also. But those are some guys that we're looking that we're going to give some shots to help us early, because mature-wise, body-wise, they're ready to go.
Yeah, and the JUCO guys usually coming in 1 or 2 years of play time before they come into D1. How do you like the junior college guys as opposed to guys straight out of high school recruiting-wise?
Well, I'd rather have guys straight out of high school that are mature and ready to play. But sometimes in situations you're able to get you feel like a better player that can help you quicker, where you can redshirt a couple young men that are 18, and all of a sudden you redshirt them, and then the next year they're 19, and then they probably play when they're 20-year-old redshirt sophomores. And so that's what you usually have to do in a lot of instances. So we felt like we could get some guys that fit the school academically and could do it out of junior college, we would, and we were able to find a few guys that could do that.
So fitting the Colorado profile out here, what is the kind of athlete or student that you want on your team?
Well, first of all, we want a young man that education and graduating from college is his number one goal, not just playing football. And then we want someone that loves this area and fits in here socially and wants to be in a kind of a outdoorsy environmental area. They want to be in that situation. And then third, we're looking for someone with high character, and we feel like we found that in those guys, and they're good football players that want to help us be successful and help themselves be successful.
Now, and offers, according to ESPN, did go out to guys like Malachi Dupree, Arion Springs, the kind of upper echelon ESPN recruits. What do you think it'll take for Colorado football to really be jumping back into that top echelon and gaining those high level players again?
Well, we evaluate all the guys, and some kind of get a little bit more pub than others, and kind of get pumped up, so to speak. Not saying they're not as good, but I think that win more football games, or the new facility we're building will help. All of those type of things go hand in hand to be able to recruit other athletes in that type of situation there. But I'm very pleased with the players that we sign, and I think they can definitely play and beat anybody that they go up against in time.
Addison, of course, being one of the shining examples of someone who had San Jose State back when you were working there as 1 or 2 offers coming out of school, and then came over to Colorado and was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
And so going back to the athletic upgrades, is that more of a pitch for you guys now that you have this new slate of upgrades to the athletic facilities coming?
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, this facility that we're in now, Dow Ward, is a great facility. It was the #1 facility in the world, in America, in 1990. And now it's really nice, but if you compared it to the other Pac-12 schools in our conference, it's 12 out of 12.
Yeah.
And so our new one will be the best in the conference. Everybody's built theirs. Ours is going to be the newest and the best. And so that's exciting. And so when young men come here, they're going to see how committed we are to being successful in football. And they're going to see how, so that facility will show them that. And it will help us, have more guys that will be interested in coming here.
Yeah, and a lot of great things coming to the school, the athletic upgrades, another great class of freshmen, and on top of the players that you have now. What are you expecting in the next year to 2 years, short-term plan-wise, for this Colorado football team?
Well, I expect us to keep improving consistently on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, monthly basis, and a seasonally basis. And it's all a process. You don't just wave a wand and it happens. But I definitely see us improving in all phases of our program, from academics, socially, athletically, the whole atmosphere and the culture of our environment here in the football program. I see all of that improving daily, and it's exciting to watch it happen.
Excellent. And of course, my final question will have to be, what is it going to be like coaching Jay McIntyre?
Oh.
Are you going to be a little bit harder on him? Make sure.
Of course. Of course, it'll be harder on him. He decided this is what he wanted to do, and he brings great speed and quickness to our football team, and we need that. And especially in the Pac-12, you've seen the speed and quickness on the field, and he'll be a a guy that'll bring that to our table at receiver area and on special teams, and we need all the guys we can get like that. And he'll probably he definitely will have the hardest time of any of them here. So.
Yeah,
But he knew that when he decided to make that choice. He could have gone other places, but he loves Colorado. The school and the academics here, he was really excited about and what it brings to the table, and then of course he was excited about playing football in the Pac-12.
Yeah, definitely. Not too much to not like about Colorado. How have you liked your time out here?
We've loved it. We really have. People have been really nice to us. We've got to get a lot of great friends and love the environment and love the area, and so it's really been a good deal.
Well, great. Well, that's all the time we have for today, folks. Be sure to come by Folsom Field tomorrow at noon for the Black and Gold Spring Game. Thank you, Coach McIntyre. It was a great, absolute pleasure being able to interview you.
Enjoyed it.
I'm Andrew Haubner, folks, and be sure to catch this interview online at cuisports.com and our Twitter at CUSportsmag.